Right, back to this. Okay, so find the equation of the tangent to the curve y cubed minus 4x squared minus 3xy plus 25 equals 0 at the point 2 minus 3. Now, if you sort of recall back to C1, you would have been working out the equation of the tangent, and if you sort of remember back to that, you were expected to work out the gradient, and you needed a point, didn't you? So to work out the equation, you need a gradient and a point. Now we've got the point, we just need to work out the gradient. Okay, so we can work out the gradient of this curve by doing dy dx. All right, so if we differentiate with respect to x, right? So y cubed, differentiate that with respect to x. Well, we can't do that, can we? Because it's a y function. So we can differentiate it with respect to y. So that will be 3, bring the 3 down, 3y squared, but of course you times it by dy dx at the end because ultimately we want it with respect to x. The minus 4x squared, well, that becomes minus 8x. That's easy because that is an x function. Bring the 2 down. This here now, notice it's a product, okay? So we've got to take away, and we've got to differentiate this, but as it's a product, we need to use the product rule. So what I'll do this on the side over here. I'll write down 3xy, okay? Don't worry about the minus, ignore that, we'll sort that out later, just focus on 3xy. So u will equal 3x, v will equal y, so du dx then is 3 dv dx, of course differentiate that with respect to x, well you can't, so you differentiate the y function, you get 1 and times dy dx. Okay, so the product rule means you do the crisscross thing, so v du dx, which is 3y, plus u dv dx, which is 3x dy dx. Okay, so that's what d by dx is of this. Okay, d by dx of this is this. So I can just chuck that in here. Now, of course, because I'm taking it away, okay, there's a minus there. Take it away, I need to put all of that in a bracket. Okay. And then I differentiated that. The 25, of course, differentiate that is just 0. So then that equals 0. What I'll do next is I'll just take that out of the bracket now. So take away 3y, take away 3x, dy dx equals 0. Then factorize. Okay, get the dy dx is on one side, the x and y is on the other side. So you've got 3y squared, take away 3x, dy dx. That's factorizing dy dx. And then you've got 8x plus 3y on the other side. Dy dx then, quite simply, to get that on its own, don't forget then you're timesing by dy dx, this bracket here, so take it over, and we divide. Tidy, good stuff. Now, this is dy dx, right, of that curve. So what I can do now, I can work out the gradient at the point 2 minus 3 at that point. Okay, so dy dx will equal, sub it in, so I'm literally putting in the values for x and y. That's right. Okay, so you need to get your calculator, alright? Get your calculator. So x and y have been inputted in your x is 2, y is minus 3. Do all this in one go on your calculator. Use the fraction button. Oh, I need to make sure I do that right. That's to be a plus, shouldn't it? What fun. Right, so this is, this is what the calculator says, and it comes out as a third. Okay, so dy dx is a third. Now that is the gradient. Okay, the gradient at 2 minus 3. And of course, what we must remember, okay, if we got the curve, you know, the curve is something like that. At that particular point, 2 minus 3, now I know what the gradient is, but that of course will be the same as the gradient of the tangent. Okay, at that point it'll be exactly the same. So we've got our gradient to be 1/3. Okay, and then all you've got to do is the equation then, the tangent. As I said earlier, you need a point. The point is 2 minus 3. You need the gradient, which is a third. and you use the equation formula y minus y1 equals mx minus x1, and chuck it in. So y take away y1, which is minus 3, a third for the gradient, x is 2. So this becomes y. Now double negative becomes a plus, of course. When you've got a fraction here, what I would do is I take the 3 up, multiply that side, and then you're just left with x minus 2 here, times by the 1. And then you've got 3y plus 9 multiply out equals x minus 2, which implies then 3y equals x minus 11. Okay, and that's the answer. Job done.